America went to sleep wealthy and woke up ruined. No invasion, no warning, no sirens. Just a market collapse so violent it erased fortunes overnight and dragged the country into a decade of hunger, dust, and disbelief. $200 billion vanished. And with it, the illusion that prosperity was permanent. So how did it happen? To understand the fall, you have to rewind to the party before everything broke. Picture the United States in 1922. The war is over. Everyone has a mustache they probably regret, and the economy is feeling itself. Factories that once built weapons are now pumping out radios, vacuum cleaners, and refrigerators so modern they quietly insult your old ice. New York's skyline shoots upward like gravity took the decade off. Jazz is everywhere. Loud, fast, and slightly confusing. Like the internet before anyone knew what it was. The country is buzzing. People are convinced the good times are permanent. Even economists are out here saying things like, relax, this boom has legs. Industry is firing on all cylinders. Henry Ford's assembly line turns car production into a science. What once took half a day now takes 90 minutes. Cars flood the streets. Auto plants explode with demand. Oil, steel, rubber, glass, everything connected to the automobile surges along for the ride. The economy isn't just growing, it's redlining. Cities glow with electricity. Radios become the new obsession. By 1929, 10 million homes own one, which means 10 million families are now listening to jazz, baseball, and static all at the same time. But while cities dance, rural America is stumbling. Farmers who once thrived on wartime demand are crushed by falling crop prices. So they borrow money to modernize new tractors, new equipment. None of it saves them, it just helps them sink faster. Meanwhile, urban Americans discover a thrilling new sport, buying things they absolutely cannot afford. Welcome to Buy Now, Pay Later, radios, cars, furniture, all financed, even stocks. Banks are thrilled. Installment plans are handed out like candy. It's the financial equivalent of proposing marriage on the second date. And then there's Wall Street. The real circus. The stock market becomes an adult theme park. Margin loans let anyone control $100 of stock with $10 down. The rest. Future, you will figure it out. Stocks only go up. Even the barber knows it. Utilities are hot. I made a killing. You're still cutting hair though. Yes, but emotionally I'm a mogul. When shoeshine kids start pitching stocks to bankers, you're no longer investing. You're gambling in a tuxedo. From 1924 to 1929, the Dow Jones quadruples. Prices detach from reality. Profits. Who cares? Fundamentals are boring. Look at this line. It's going up. Companies get creative, forming holding companies that own other holding companies that own absolutely nothing. Just vibes and paper. A few voices try to warn everyone. Economist Roger Babson predicts a crash. Wall Street responds by buying more stock and telling him to relax. Jazz plays louder. Optimism rains down like confetti. No one hears the warning over the sound of money. Behind the champagne, the structure is cracking. Farm debt rises, consumer debt balloons. The economy is dancing at the edge of a cliff, and no one bothers to check if the floor can hold. But it's 1929. What could possibly go wrong? October 29th, 1929. Black Tuesday. America woke up rich and went to bed broke. The stock market didn't stumble. It dove headfirst into concrete. The Dow collapsed. Ticker machines spit out red numbers like they were possessed. Phones rang endlessly. Traders screamed. Some fainted. Billions evaporated. $14 billion gone in a single day. Adjusted for today, that's over $200 billion. Real money, real lives, real futures. Erased outside the exchange, crowds gathered in silence. Some cried, some stared. Others held hands, trying to understand how an entire nation tripped over its own greed. The roaring 20s didn't fade out. They face-planted into a brick wall while carrying everyone's savings. And that was just the beginning. Margin calls followed. Brokers demanded money investors didn't have. Paper wealth disintegrated overnight. People rich on Monday were bankrupt by Thursday. Then the banks fell. These marble institutions built on confidence and paper promises couldn't survive the shock. Loans weren't repaid. Deposits vanished. Panic spread. Bank runs erupted. Crowds rushed branches, pounding on locked doors, begging for their own money. Inside, clerks tried to calm them. Your funds are safe. Well, mostly. Families lost everything. Bonds became worthless. Savings disappeared. The piggy bank survived only because no one wanted to tell the kid the truth. The collapse didn't stay domestic. American banks pulled overseas loans. Europe, already fragile after the war, cracked. Germany faltered. Britain wobbled. Global trade collapsed by half. And still, denial ruled. Newspapers printed cheerful headlines above photos of people pawning wedding rings for bread. Politicians promised recovery. President Herbert Hoover reassured listeners that the economy was fundamentally sound. Millions stared at empty plates wondering which part of that sentence was supposed to help. By 1931, the music had stopped. Factories shut down. Unemployment hit 25%. 1 in 4 workers had no job. Detroit's production collapsed. Bread lines stretched through cities. Children fainted in school from hunger. This wasn't metaphorical hardship. This was starvation. Suicide rates climbed. Newspapers couldn't keep up. Marriages declined. Birth rates fell. The future became a topic people avoided. Then the sky turned against them. Years of overfarming left the Great Plains exposed. When drought hit, dust flew. Storms rolled in like something biblical. Black clouds swallowed towns. Crops vanished. Livestock suffocated. Families fled west with everything they owned, strapped to broken cars, chasing rumors of opportunity that often didn't exist. Hoover tried restraint, modest aid, volunteerism, infrastructure projects. It wasn't enough. Shantytowns sprang up, mocking his name. Hooverville's Hoover blankets, Hoover flags. In 1932, desperate veterans marched on Washington, demanding bonuses they'd been promised. They waited peacefully. The answer was tear gas and fire. The government turned on its own soldiers. Something broke. Radical ideas spread. Crime surged. Outlaws became folk heroes. America wasn't just broke. It was fractured. And yet, people endured. They waited. They moved. They survived. Not because they believed things would improve, but because survival was the only option. Then, in 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt stepped forward. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. It wasn't magic, but it was oxygen. Immobit fast. Jobs programs. Conservation corps. Infrastructure projects. Shovels, wages, dignity. Dams rose. Lights turned on. Radios crackled to life in homes that finally had electricity. The economy stirred. Rules followed. The SEC, the FDIC safeguards to keep Wall Street from burning the house down again. Social Security arrived. Not wealth. Security. A promise that age wouldn't equal abandonment. Artists documented the struggle. Hollywood offered escape. Music returned. Factories hummed again. Slowly, imperfectly, America stood back up. The Great Depression didn't end with fireworks. It ended with work. With rules. With tired hands and cautious hope. And just as the country began to breathe again, something else was already forming on the horizon. Louder, darker, global. And this time, the whole world would feel it.